Russia has faced fresh international outrage over the bombing of a children and mothers hospital. Ukrainian officials say 3 people died in the blast, including a young girl. Elsewhere, the mayor of the capital, Kyiv, says half the city's residents have now fled the Russian advance. Ukraine has accused the Russians of war crimes and failing to engage fully in peace talks.
Unfortunately, Minister Lavrov was not in a position to commit himself to it, but he will correspond with respective authorities on this issue.
Well, a short time ago, I spoke to Ukrainian MP Kira Rudik, who is in the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, and has taken up arms herself to fight the Russians. And firstly, I asked her about the situation in the besieged city of Mariupol, scene of that Russian attack on a hospital.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. So the most complicated and devastating situation is indeed in the city of Mariupol, that was first severely bombarded by Russian missiles and then taken to a siege. So the humanitarian situation there is terrible. People are melting down the snow to get water. People are not receiving enough food, and the city is being constantly bombarded. So we, as Ukrainian officials, were trying to get the humanitarian convoy out 5 days in a row. And 5 days in a row, the Russian side was promising that they will let people out. And 5 days in a row, they broke the ceasefire. So you can imagine people who didn't have water, people who didn't have food, and who are just trying to get to the safety. They are getting into the buses. The children behind their mummies. They are just hoping that this will all end, and then the buses stop because the Russians are firing, and then they have to come back to hell, and continue being there under the threat of death, under the threat of death, of dehydration, of hunger, of bombing, and this is just terrible. But this is what is showing the world that there could be no peaceful agreement with Putin. He cannot keep his word even in this fairly minor agreement where he needs just to let the peaceful citizens out. And today and yesterday, the Mariupol hospital was bombarded. And it was terrible because 3 people were killed, 17 people got injuries. It was maternity hospital. And the most terrible thing is that 4 hours prior, there was a press conference from the Russian side where they said that there are Nazis in this hospital, and that's why they are going to be bombing it. And right now, we don't have anything to help this out, because this is what we have been asking the NATO countries and the European countries to provide us with a no-fly zone, or at least jets or something that we can protect ourselves.
And we understand with that the hesitancy that is there around that, despite the horrendous situation, the feeling that diplomacy really is the only option here now. But for yourself in Kyiv right now, where we're hearing half the city has fled Kyiv, you are still there and you've taken up arms. You're learning to fire a gun. How fearful are you for your own life remaining in this city?
Well, this was my decision to stay here and fight to protect my home, my city, and my country. This is my duty to my motherland, and this is what my people are expecting of me. As an elected member of parliament, I am responsible for my constituency, and I cannot flee the place where I am. And I don't plan to. I plan to give Putin's forces, if they come, a very good fight. Today is a very important day for my resistance crew, because we were officially registered with our army, and so right now we are starting getting some tasks. And beforehand, we were just like a militia. We were training separately we were training separately here on my backyard with the team that I put together. So today we are official, and we will be getting ready to what is coming next.